We see a man named Jeff on his boat at the start of the film. He and his friends used to catch snakes and sell them for money. This time, they were going to a very dangerous place to catch snakes, a place people believe is cursed. It was said that the world's biggest and most dangerous snake, the Crimson Anaconda, lived there, a creature that could eat anything, even other anacondas. When they reached their destination, Jeff's captain demanded more money from him because the place was very risky. Jeff took out the money to give it, but the money slipped and fell. When the captain bent down to pick it up, Jeff suddenly stabbed him in the neck and killed him. Then, with the same knife, Jeff cut his throat and threw his body into the river, as if he was feeding something in the water. His other companions saw this, but Jeff told them that he hates traitors. Later, they moved deeper into the jungle and saw an idol covered with snakes. Looking at it, Jeff said that the story of the Crimson Anaconda was true. Meanwhile, Jeff's companions found many snakes and happily started filling them into bags. Jeff, however, took his gun and went in search of the big Crimson Anaconda. One of the companions returned to the boat with the bags of snakes, but he saw something terrifying, the headless body of the captain standing in the water. He couldn't believe his eyes. Suddenly, the body sank into the water again, and something huge started swimming toward him. Frightened, he ran into the jungle, but before he could escape, a giant anaconda caught him. The snake wrapped around him tightly, breaking his bones before eating him alive. Another companion in the jungle suddenly saw the same giant anaconda climbing a tree. Its belly looked swollen. It had swallowed a man. Before this man could run away, the half-digested body of his friend fell in front of him, covered in some strange liquid. Then the snake grabbed him too, crushed him against a tree, and began eating him. From a distance, Jeff was watching everything calmly. He didn't even try to save his friends. Instead, he looked pleased, as if everything was happening just the way he wanted. He actually wanted to catch the Crimson Anaconda alive. He was ready to make it unconscious using his shotgun. But suddenly, the jungle animals started making loud noises, and hearing this, the anaconda disappeared into the water. The scene shifts to another man named Bailing. Bailing worked in a circus with his team. When the circus shut down, he bought all the performers from the owner because he wanted to start a new circus in Thailand. They planned to travel to Thailand by river. But while traveling, their way was blocked by wooden containers floating in the water. The captain suggested changing the route, but that would take too long. Bailing became angry and told him they must reach Thailand on time because he had already taken advance payment for their show. If they missed it, they would go bankrupt. So the captain decided to use dynamite to blow up the containers. They didn't know how dangerous that decision was. When the containers exploded, the path cleared. But suddenly, it started raining snakes. The containers were full of snakes, and now all of them fell onto their ship. People screamed and tried to hide while many got bitten. Luckily, they used a pressure pipe and managed to wash most snakes off the ship. But part of the bathroom roof collapsed, and many snakes fell on Bailing, who was hiding there. Scared, he jumped into the river and swam to the shore. But his bad luck continued. A king cobra appeared in front of him, ready to bite. Before it could strike, a man crushed the snake with his hand. It was Jeff. He had saved Bailing's life. Bailing thanked him and brought him onto the ship. Jeff told everyone that he was a jungle explorer who got stuck in the forest after an accident. Suddenly, one of the men screamed in pain. Jeff went near and saw a small snake inside his ear. He cut his finger and put it near the man's ear, and a baby snake came out, biting Jeff's hand. But Jeff didn't react at all. He simply threw the snake into the river. A woman named Land, who was an expert on snakes, noticed this. She told Bailing that something was strange about Jeff. She said that a person can only survive a snake bite if they have injected small amounts of snake venom into their body many times. So she believed Jeff wasn't a normal man. Later, Jeff met the captain and asked him to take the ship to a place marked on his map. When the captain saw the name of the place, he became angry, pulled out his gun, and warned Jeff never to talk about that place again. He said, "That place is cursed." The captain clearly knew about the Crimson Anaconda too. Jeff pretended to leave, but he secretly set a trap for the captain. When the captain was fishing, something pulled his line strongly from underwater. As he tried to pull it back, he fell into the water, right into Jeff's trap. Jeff had used him as bait to attract the anaconda. When the captain disappeared, Lan grew suspicious. She knew Jeff was behind it. When she asked him where the captain was, Jeff calmly said, "This is a jungle. It's normal for people to disappear here." Suddenly, they heard a strange sound coming from the water. Land asked what it was. Jeff smiled and said, "Something very big is coming." It is shown that deep inside the river, a very large anaconda was moving toward Jeff's trap. Suddenly, Jeff's fishing rod pulled hard from below. When he started reeling it in, the giant anaconda appeared in front of them for a few seconds. Seeing such a huge and powerful creature, everyone became terrified. The anaconda pulled the fishing line strongly and threw Jeff into the water with the same rope. It tossed him here and there, but Jeff didn't give up. He swam to a small boat floating nearby to save himself. He tied the fishing rod to the boat and began attacking the anaconda's body with a sharp rod. This didn't kill the anaconda, but made it angry. In its rage, the anaconda lifted Jeff's small boat and pushed it toward the riverbank. Then, showing its full power, it trapped Jeff inside the boat. People from the circus standing far away saw everything and thought Jeff was dead. But soon Jeff appeared again, floating in his boat. While everyone was staring at him, Jeff was looking around for the anaconda in the water. He didn't realize that the anaconda was now on the roof of his ship, behind him. The next moment, in front of everyone, the anaconda spit out the dead captain's body. Seeing this horrifying scene, people screamed and ran away. They hid inside a bathroom while the anaconda chased after them to kill them. They quickly shut the door and blocked the anaconda's entry. From outside, Jeff attacked the snake again with a sharp weapon. In anger, the anaconda turned toward Jeff. Jeff hid to avoid its attack, and the anaconda entered the ship, searching for him. Inside the ship, Bailing and his friends were hiding in a compartment. The anaconda couldn't see them and crawled ahead. Meanwhile, Land was hiding in the control room, searching for a gun. Through the window, she saw the giant anaconda passing by. From the rooftop, the anaconda suddenly attacked two other companions through the bathroom window. A terrified boy ran to Land for help, and the snake followed him. Land grabbed the boy and ran, but in all the chaos, a lot of kerosene oil spilled on the floor. The anaconda was furious. When Jeff tried to attack it again from outside, another man got caught in the anaconda's mouth. The snake smashed its head through the roof, trying to get its prey out. At the same time, Jeff entered the ship from behind, tying a rope around his mouth to stay quiet. But before he could catch the anaconda, the control room caught fire. The fire reached the dynamite stored there, and a massive explosion occurred. Everyone jumped into the water to save their lives. In this explosion, the anaconda was killed. Bailing started crying when he saw the burning ship, worried that they wouldn't reach Thailand in time. In anger, his young companion shouted, "Are you crazy? We just escaped from that monster. We are alive. Isn't that enough?" Lan realized that everything happened because of Jeff. She told him, "If you hadn't done all this, we wouldn't have faced such danger." Jeff replied, "Do you know how valuable that anaconda is? If you had helped me catch it, we would all be millionaires today." Hearing about money, greedy Bailing immediately changed sides. He forgot about going to Thailand and said, "Tell me what to do. How can we catch that anaconda? Where do we have to go?" Jeff took out his map and said, "If you help me, I'll take you to Thailand in 2 days. And we'll be rich." Bailing was happy. Both his dreams could come true. But his companions didn't trust Jeff. At that time, one of Bailing's companions was very sick from a dangerous insect bite. She could die from its poison. Jeff said, "I have medicine that can save her, but it's on my ship. If you want to save her, you must take me to my boat." Although they didn't want to, they agreed to help Jeff. Their boat was gone, so they started walking through the jungle. While walking, Jeff warned them not to drink the water there. He said the water contained deadly insects that go inside a person's body and make him so thirsty that he drowns himself in the river. Night fell, and they stayed in a cave where they lit a fire to keep warm. Jeff sat aside, staring at the map that showed the Anaconda's location. Suddenly, the story went into flashback. It was revealed how Jeff had first met the Crimson Anaconda. That time, the Anaconda was about to kill him, but Jeff cleverly locked himself inside a wooden container to hide. Later, when Bailing's group came and blasted the containers with dynamite, Jeff escaped and met them. The scene returns to the present, where Jeff is still studying his map. Bailing comes to him and asks, "You want to catch this anaconda, right?" Jeff replies, "Yes." This is a mutated anaconda. You can call it the king of all anacondas. It has killed many large animals, even other anacondas like itself. If we catch it, our next 7 generations won't need to work. Tempted by greed, Bailing agrees to help. Later that night, everyone falls asleep. Suddenly, Bailing wakes up and sees that they are surrounded by giant anacondas. He screams, but then opens his eyes and realizes it was just a nightmare. When he looks around, he notices his brother is missing. Frightened, he runs out of the cave and finds his brother drowning in the river. He rushes to pull him out but sees poisonous insects crawling out of his nose, the same insects Jeff had warned them about. The poison kills his brother. Crying helplessly, Bailing realizes it's too late. The next morning, they continue their journey. While walking through the forest, they reach a place where there's no path left to walk. Now, they had no choice but to get into the river once again. They crossed the river. No one wanted to step into the water because everyone had seen how dangerous it was, but they had no other way. Scared and shivering, they entered the river slowly. Suddenly, a boy pointed toward the water because a huge anaconda was moving around him from all sides. Before anyone could help, his brother also died that night. The boy started praying out of fear. But as they say, those who fear, die. He didn't know that the anaconda's mouth was right behind him. In the next moment, the creature grabbed him and shook him violently. Len tried to help, but the anaconda was too strong. It broke his bones and suffocated him to death. Everyone stood there, frozen in horror, watching the nightmare unfold. The anaconda disappeared back into the dark water with the man's body, leaving only silence behind. After some time, the group gathered again and reached Jeff's boat. According to the story, Jeff gave them the medicine that could save Belyong. They were poor people from Thailand, hoping only for survival. Jeff said, "Let's get out of here quickly." But then Jeff stopped them. "It's not that simple," he said coldly. "I brought you here safely. Now you must keep your promise and help me." The little boy replied, "If your help is about that anaconda, forget it. We won't do this." Hearing that, Jeff took out his gun. Belyang also pulled out his knife. Now he was on Jeff's side. "Do what Jeff says," Belyang shouted. Len screamed, "Are you all crazy? Catching such a big anaconda is impossible." Jeff smiled. "You're right, but not completely. That anaconda can be caught while it's eating. Then Jeff and Beliang grabbed two people and tied them up tightly over a large net as bait. The crying child looked at Beliang and said, "Why are you doing this? If we die, who will perform in your circus?" Beliang laughed madly. "Did you think I was taking you to Thailand for a circus? No, I was taking you there to sell your organs for money. But now plans have changed. The Anaconda will make me richer than you ever could." On the other side, the Crimson Anaconda was already trapped nearby. Jeff tied two girls to a tree. Then he began misbehaving with one of them. But the girl was clever. She stayed calm and trapped him in her own trick. She quickly grabbed his gun from his pocket and tried to shoot him. But her bad luck struck. The gun didn't fire. Jeff caught her and was about to kill her when suddenly her companion, Lane, came from behind and stabbed Jeff with a knife. Jeff pushed Lane away and turned back toward the girl. The girl tried to grab Jeff's gun again. The two struggled, and during the chaos, a gunshot echoed. After the shot, the scene cuts. We see two people tied up as bait for the Anaconda. Beliang was holding the rope of their net, unaware that his own death was just behind him. A huge anaconda appeared, and before he realized it, attacked him from behind, biting his head and killing him instantly. Meanwhile, Jeff tried to kill the girl again in anger, but this time, she fought back. She picked up a heavy wooden stick and struck Jeff on the head, knocking him unconscious. Once Jeff fainted, the group freed themselves from the net. But bad luck wasn't done with them yet. Jeff woke up again. Before he could attack, a large shadow fell from above. The Crimson Anaconda grabbed Jeff and carried him away into the jungle. The survivors ran toward Jeff's boat, trying to escape. But Lane's friend was badly injured. She had been shot by Jeff earlier and was dying. Later, all three were captured by some men and tied together as bait for the Crimson Anaconda again. Sharp metal wires surrounded them, and the men held the ropes from far away. Soon, several anacondas appeared, circling them slowly. The three thought this was the end, that they would die here. But suddenly, the smaller snake slithered away. From the darkness came a giant, the Crimson Anaconda itself. It was 10 times larger than any normal anaconda. The monstrous snake wrapped itself around the three, ready to crush and devour them alive. Chaos filled the jungle as it roared. Jeff, still alive, tried to capture it again, but he got tangled in the branches of a tree. Before he could free himself, the anaconda coiled round him and crushed both Jeff and the tree. The others watched in terror, unable to move. But the small, clever boy didn't give up. He started biting the ropes with his teeth until blood came out of his mouth. He believed he could still survive. Meanwhile, Jeff somehow escaped the tree's grip, but before he could run, the anaconda struck again. It coiled its tail tightly around Jeff and swallowed him whole. The three others finally broke free and ran away. But the Crimson Anaconda turned toward them next. They rushed inside a large wooden container for safety. The snake followed them, slithering inside fast. The door on the other side was jammed shut. The boy tried to break it open desperately. The anaconda moved closer and closer, but at the very last moment, the boy managed to push the door open and escaped. They ran as fast as they could through the jungle. They thought they couldn't survive, but fate helped them once again. They didn't know they had reached the area where Jeff had earlier placed 30 sharp wire traps. The Crimson Anaconda's head got sliced by one of those wires. They looked back. The giant snake was lying still. They couldn't believe they were alive. To them, the monster was finally dead. They were happy but still afraid. They knew many more anacondas lived in that jungle. So they quickly left that place. But in the final scene, the truth is revealed. The Crimson Anaconda wasn't dead. Just as Jeff had said earlier, it was a mutated anaconda. It regenerated its cut head, and came back to life again, the screen fades to black, and the story ends, leaving behind the dark legend of the Crimson Anaconda.